Hello, everybody. I'm
Hello.
Felipe, and I will be presenting on the topic of virtualization. Okay, the agenda, some of the things that I'll be covering in this presentation are, I'll be answering what is virtualization. I'll be going over some of the key components associated with virtualization, and we'll also talk about the advantages and disadvantages of virtualization. So what is virtualization? Virtualization is a process through which the computing resources of a single physical computer can be divided into multiple virtual machines. Each virtual machine can operate independently and run different operating systems and applications. This allows for efficient usage of physical computing resources. Next, I'll describe some of the key components that make virtualization possible. The first of these is the host. The host is the physical computer comprised of its CPU, memory, and storage mechanisms that, as mentioned previously, gets divided into multiple virtual machines during the virtualization process. And the component that makes all this virtualization process possible is the hypervisor. The hypervisor creates an abstract layer over the physical computer hardware. It is on this abstract layer that virtual machines are created. There are two types of hypervisor, type 1 and type 2. The type 1 hypervisor runs directly on the host. With a type 1 hypervisor, there is no operating system sitting between the hypervisor and the physical hardware resources of its host. Because of this, type 1 hypervisors are often referred to as bare metal or native hypervisors. Some examples of these type 1 hypervisors include VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, and Citrix Xen Server. On the other hand, we have type 2 hypervisors. This type of hypervisor is installed on top of an operating system instead of directly on the physical host, as seen with the type 1 hypervisor. Type 2 hypervisors rely on the host machine's operating system to undertake certain operations like managing calls to the CPU, managing network resources, managing memory, and allocating storage. And this type of hypervisor is also sometimes referred to as virtual machine monitor. And finally, you have the virtual machines, or guests as they are sometimes referred. Virtual machines are the virtualized computers on the physical host computer. It's possible to have multiple virtual machines on one physical computer, each with their own operating system and applications. Physical computing resources are allocated to each guest by the hypervisor. Next, we'll discuss some of the advantages of virtualization. Cost savings. Virtualization enables more efficient utilization of an organization's existing hardware resources, which increases your return on your initial investment. It reduces the need to invest in more hardware when more computing resources are needed. This reduces further capital expenditure.
Yep. All right. Thank you.